Introduce yourself again.
Hi, I'm Rhonda Crenshaw, Small Mammal Supervisor. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We're feeding our North American river otters their breakfast this morning. This is Clover. Clover's a little bit of a sassy personality. She's got a lot of spunk to her and she likes to destroy stuff. Clover is our female. She's been 4 years old. She's been with us for 3 years. There you go, Clover. You can see she loves her fish. Of course, these guys eat 3 times a day. We feed them separately because we just want to make sure each one gets the right amount. We weigh them once a month to make sure their weights are good. You can see this part of the mesh is kind of bigger here. This just protects us from them, and it's a little bit bigger section here so that we can feed them right through the mesh. Over here we have Larky. Larky's our male. He's also 4 years old. He just likes to follow the girls around. These guys, otters, there's like 13 different species of otters in the world. They live in all different parts of the world. The smallest one is as big as like a cat, and the largest one can weigh over 50 pounds, which is the giant otter. These guys have a lot of specializations because they spend 50% of their time in the water and 50% on land. You can see Larky's streamlined body. He's got really sharp toenails to dig. They like to dig out on exhibit a lot, dig in the dirt and stuff. Their ears actually close when they swim, as do their nostrils. They also have a clear membrane that goes over their eyes. So when they're swimming, their eyes are protected. You can see their coats are very specialized. When otters come out of the water, they like to dry themselves immediately. They rub on all different sorts of substrates to get their coats nice and dry. They have, when they're grooming, the hairs kind of lock together, which provides the undercoat and the top coat. The air insulates them, the air that's between the two coats. The undercoat keeps their skin nice and dry so that they can be outside year-round. And the top coat has nice oils in it, so they're always grooming themselves and making sure their coat is in good shape. When you see them swimming, you might see some bubbles come out of their fur. That's just the air that's trapped between the 2 layers of skin. That air is an insulation that keeps them nice and warm even in the winter.
Be sure to ask any questions out in our fan base out there. Feel free to ask Rhonda any questions you have regarding any of the otters.
You can see their nice sharp teeth. They have to get through those bones of the fish. Remember, in the wild, they're eating crayfish and all different types of foods. See their little whiskers. Their whiskers help them find the food that's in the dark, murky water. There's a big fish for you. Oh, he's going to go take that in the pool. So we feed these guys separately, like I said, and each individual area here has its own little pool, so they can take their fish out and go swim with their food. They got really streamlined bodies that are super flexible and agile. That powerful tail acts as a rudder, so they can really push through that water, and they can turn on a dime to catch those fish. So they're just a super specialized animal. These guys are little dynamos. They're just packed with energy. They got strength. They got a great little personalities. They're super smart.
Which one is this again, Rhonda?
This one is Larky. He's our male. He's 4 years old.
How do they digest the shells?
Well, nothing that we give them here has shells, but I suppose crayfish shells, they would just digest just like any other animal that eats the crayfish. And down here we have Shamrock. And Shamrock is our other female. She's also 4 years old. She's sisters to Clover. We do a little training here every day just to give them, we can kind of check their body parts over every single day, so we do little training sessions with them. Shamrock target. So I have this clicker here. The clicker just tells her that she did the right behavior, and once she does the right behavior, I can click, and that's the bridge between the behavior and the reward. Good girl. They can also, she likes follow a little light, so when I shine the light, she goes and finds it and touches it with her nose. Good girl.
We are here behind the scenes in the Otter Passage. We are with zookeeper Rhonda, the small mammal supervisor, and she is doing some training with us behind the scenes. Feel free to ask any questions you may have for her while we are doing the training.
This is just so I can check her teeth and make sure they're okay. We're working on keeping that mouth open a little bit longer so I can really look at those teeth. Shamrock, hold. She holds perfectly still so I can kind of see each part of her body. Good girl.
And Rhonda, how can you tell Shamrock and Clover apart?
So Shamrock is a little bit bigger, but also Clover has a little patch of fur in her nose pad, and Shamrock does not. I see your foot. I see it. Good girl. They also are trained to sit still to have a vaccine. These guys do get vaccinated every year. Come around. Good girl. Hold. So they hold in this position. We can pull their skin out, and then we can just inject the vaccine right into that. She holds perfectly still for me. Good girl. Good job. So this is the clicker that I'm using just to tell her that she did the right thing, the right behavior. So it's the bridge between the behavior and the reward. Up. If we get her to stand up real nice, we can look underneath her belly. Good girl. Up. You want to stick your foot in here? Good girl. You can see how sharp those little toenails are. Like I said before, they use those toenails to dig in the dirt. They also have webs between their toes, so you can see how webbed their feet are. That's for helping, of course, to swim in the water. Like I said, they spend 50% of their time on land and 50% of their time in the water. Good job. You did a good job. All right. We also do a lot of enrichment behind the scenes. Like I said, this is where all the action happens. So we're going to let Shamrock into this section here where she has a pool. We give them a lot of different enrichment activities to just kind of keep their minds and bodies active and kind of have to work for their food like they would do in the wild. So you can see her trying to get some fish out of that little tube there. Like I said, these otters are just little action-packed dynamos. You can see how strong they are. They use that nose to push things around.
How is the starting process of the training? How do you get them to sit still for your training?
Well, if she's sitting still naturally, then I would click and reward. And then eventually she'd get the idea then that is what I wanted her to do. So each little behavior is very different on how you start and how you manipulate to get them to do what you want. So it just kind of depends on the behavior. These guys can dive pretty deep in the water. And when they do dive, they can hold their breath. Some of them can hold their breath up to over 5 minutes. So they do have the very powerful lungs to be able to do that. Remember, otters are very sensitive to pollution. Out in the wild, they have to have clean water and that would provide healthy fish for them to live. So pollution is one of the things that would harm them.
Have you talked about how old they are already?
Yep, so they're 4 years old. All 3 of them are 4 years old. They came to us 3 years ago when they were 1. And so we have the 2 sisters, Clover and Shamrock, and then the male is Larky.
And what part of the world are our otters from?
So these guys are North American river otters. So they live all over North America, as long as there's, like I said, clean water and rivers for them to prosper. And they, like I said, there are 13 species of otters that live all around the world. Asia, Europe, Africa, South America. These guys are super powerful. They have great personality. They have lots of energy. They're super smart. And of course, they're very cute. Just look at those faces. So they're a lot of fun to work with. How long are they?
How long are they?
They probably range 3 feet long if you include that long tail. They weigh between 10 and 20 pounds. Their lifespan is between, usually in the wild they live to be around 10, and in the captivity they can live to be 20-ish would be the highest. Some of the predators that they would be worried about would be bobcats, alligators, and birds of prey.
How many pups do they have in a litter?
Usually 2 to 4 would be born.
And when do they usually mate?
So they usually breed at this time of the year, maybe about a month ago, and then they have delayed implantation, which means that they wouldn't actually start developing the baby until later than that. So it usually is about a year cycle. So they mate at this time of the year, but they also give birth at this time of the year.
Is their water supply heated for the winter?
Yep, the big pools that are out on exhibit are heated. I think they're around 50 degrees or so, I want to say, but these guys are outside year long. They go outside no matter what the temperature is. They love the snow. They make deep tunnels and forts out there in those snowbanks. They love to go in and out of them, popping in and out of the snowbanks. It's super fun to watch them slide down the snowy slopes. So they have a lot of fun out there. Remember I said that that fur is very specialized. It keeps them very warm during the winter with that air that's trapped between the 2 layers of fur. So they can stay really nice and insulated, so they can be out there all year round. You'll see our otters out there every day of the year. Some of the things that they like to do out there is obviously swim a lot, but remember they do spend a lot of time on land. They love to sun themselves. So if you can't see them, they're usually sitting in a corner somewhere, flipped over with the sun on their bellies. So they really like to soak up the sun. They also have a couple of heated rocks out there on exhibit. So you might see them laying on some of those rocks as well if it's a little bit colder.
And other people have also asked if we'll be doing more behind the scenes Facebook Lives, and we will plan on doing so in the future. You'll be hearing more about that soon. So we'd like to go ahead and thank everybody for watching today as we did our behind the scenes. I know it's super hard to be able to stop watching these guys play, but we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.